Are you struggling to iterate over a large number of files in your S3 bucket? If you have more than 1,000 files and you're unsure how to access them all, you're in the right place. Today, we will tackle this common issue and show you how to efficiently list all your S3 objects. I completely understand your frustration. It can be really annoying when you have a ton of files, but the tools you're using only let you see a fraction of them. You're definitely not alone in this. Many users face this limitation when working with S3. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked, how can I iterate over all the files in my S3 bucket using Boto 3, especially when the list objects method only returns up to 1,000 objects? If this sounds like your situation, let's dive in and find a solution together. So why does this happen? The list objects method in Boto 3 is designed to return a maximum of 1,000 objects at a time. This is a common limitation, but there are ways to work around it. We will explore how to paginate through your results to access all your files. And stick around. At the end of this video, I will share a pro tip that will make working with S3 even easier. You won't want to miss it. To iterate over all the files in an S3 bucket, the user should first import the Boto 3 library and create an S3 client. This is the first step in accessing the S3 service. Next, the user should use the list objects v2 method instead of list objects. This method allows for pagination, which is essential when dealing with more than 1,000 objects. After that, the user needs to check if there are more objects to retrieve. If the response contains a next continuation token, it indicates that more objects are available. The user should then implement a loop to continue fetching objects until all of them are retrieved. This involves using the continuation token in subsequent requests. Finally, the user can iterate over the list of objects and perform any desired operations on them. This is where the actual data extraction takes place. Fun fact: did you know that Amazon S3 was launched in 2006? It has since become one of the most popular cloud storage solutions, and for good reason. It's powerful, but sometimes it can be a bit tricky to navigate. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach shared by another user involves using the paginator class in Boto 3. This allows you to handle cases where the list of objects is truncated. You can create a paginator for the list objects method and then use it to iterate through all the objects in your S3 bucket. Let's check out another perspective from a different user. An alternative approach provided by another user involves using the AWS SDK for Java. They suggest creating an S3 client and using a list objects request to retrieve all objects in the bucket. This method allows you to specify the bucket name and path and then iterate over the results to print each file. Here's the pro tip I promised. Always check the documentation for the latest updates and best practices when working with Boto 3. This can save you time and help you avoid common pitfalls. And there you have it. You should now be able to iterate over all your files in an S3 bucket without any issues. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button for more tips and tricks. And remember, the more you practice, the easier it gets.